Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of How You Do That. We're back with the boys. It is another week. It is another morning. Today, I want to specifically say, Subang boy really overcame the Subang traffic, bro. It's mad. Today is the day I buy Toto. I think. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, John, for being here. I
mean, because it's early lah. It's currently
That's true.
early lah. So
maybe the trick is you do 7 a.m. shoot lah, bro.
hey, also can 7 a.m. actually you skip all traffic.
That's true. That's true. 5 a.m. it is, guys.
That one. I'm still in the traffic. I'm still loading.
When the brain haven't reached the station yet. Guys, I just want to say thank you for all the support you've given to the show. Thank you for all the support you've given John and his PlayStation rant. The IG reels have not stopped popping. I just want to say that. Thank you for all the love. And speaking of love, today, one of our guests here is someone I love very much. We have a very special guest here. Previously, we had Jazel. Today, we have another Malacca girl, and her name is...
Oh, yes. Suyen.
And this is my wife. We usually do who are you, what you do. So what do you do?
Hi, my name is Suyen. I'm his wife, and together we have 2 daughters.
You're so shy.
And I stay at home and I handle the day-to-day. And I also do wedding makeup on weekends and digital content in between.
We were just telling the boys that I met Suyen when she was a graphic designer. And I met her because she was the one who designed our first YouTube channel.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
There was
Did he pay for that?
The pioneer.
No,
He paid
with a
meal.
With a meal.
With wow.
So moral of the story, if you want to find your soulmate, hire them for a job, but don't pay them, just take them out.
Let me meet
I need to know what year was this first.
It's 2012, 2013.
Fresh grad, like we just
About 12 years
graduated.
ago, that's why it doesn't work these days.
Because now need the swipe right to even pass the first hurdle.
Oh, now minimum omakase.
Oh.
Hey, we've never been to Omakase until today.
And that's why they're still married.
Okay. I've already told the boys that it's nothing hold back. You can ask us anything and everything today. I think it's only fair. But hey, shout out to Maybank. Thank you for being a part of this episode, guys. I just want to say, as a Chinese boy, a few Chinese boys here running a dad podcast, right, to have Maybank come on board, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Guys, just check out Maybank, the May app. That's what we're talking today. We're going to be talking about household finance.
Best topic ever.
And how we use the May app. But yeah, household finance.
Let's go.
I don't know how to warm up into this, guys. Okay.
Already warm up already. I think being married, I think that household finance thing is already warmed into the blood already. It's in the blood already, you know?
In the blood.
Yeah.
Maybe we take it easy first.
Yes.
We talk about, since we talked just now about how we took out for first meal. When you guys started dating your wives, were you the believers of let me pay for you or let us split it down the middle?
John?
Singaporean, how is it over there?
Yeah, actually, how was it over
Anyway,
there?
actually, yeah,
for
honest
you,
question.
when you guys were like 17, 18 back then.
I'm intimidated by Singaporean girls.
17, 18.
Yeah, I mean, because back then, I'm sure you all had, when you all date, you all take
In high school.
train, right? And all that.
College.
I don't really remember because I remember dating rich girls, so they would just pay for me. No.
Yeah, I look too shocked.
That's too high. Too high. Hey, drop the mic. I push the mic off the table.
So basically, the song will just date rich girls. Guys, thanks for tuning into the episode today.
No. I mean, yes, but also not exactly. Okay,
Right,
I think there is a very fundamental difference in dating pre-working versus post-working.
Yes.
That is true.
Right? And for most Singaporean guys, you especially if you go to university, you are left in a very awkward position because you after junior college or after poly, you would go to NS. And in NS, you don't really spend a lot of money because you are in camp like 5 days a week.
You earn anything in NS?
Yeah, do you
So when you first start off, you earn a couple of $100, like Sing dollars, maybe $400 or $500. But then you can go all the way up to like maybe 1,200 or 900 to 1,200.
Wait, they pay you to go to NS?
A month lah.
Yeah, it's a allowance. They call it allowance.
Allowance lah.
So there's
not pay you like allowance lah. Like
it's like
Yeah,
allowance. Yeah. So
We do.
a few hundred lah.
But not.
So you get. I mean, if you're a 18-year-old and you have like 1,000
That's a lot, yeah.
a month, and on top of that, you don't really have to
anything
pay
else,
for
right?
food or
Yeah.
transport because 5 days a week you're there. So on Friday, Saturday nights, you just go to the clubs and spend money.
So basically, you got 1,000 to spend every weekend.
Yeah,
lah,
so
is
you
it?
can
Okay.
actually, a group of guys come together, you can actually even do bottle service.
Baller
it's
lah.
not it's not impossible.
Right.
Wow.
Some people save their money, some people
Singapore
so
NS.
at that stage you could date a little bit easier because then you might be
spare
correct, you're either dating girls who are first year university while you are not in university yet,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then the problem comes when you go to university and you are the first year, and then your female friends
second
who went to junior college with you are all third year now.
Oh.
And then now you are
right.
you are with the first year girls who are 2 years younger than you.
Wow.
So you're older, but at the same time, if you don't save your money, then you're also broke.
Correct.
Yeah. So there's that awkward transition.
Wow.
And like even for me, I went through the educational path. Relatively, I didn't retain or anything. Right. I only graduated from uni at 24, 25. Yeah.
Wow, so actually I did not think of it like how NS makes that changes between the guys and the girls.
So that dating stage from 18 to 25 is also very different from 25 to 30.
How about we narrow it down since we have families now? When you were dating,
I don't date girls now that I have a family.
You're right. Now we narrow it down to dating before you got married. Okay, dating. I mean, when you were dating Amanda, when you were dating Jazel, did you guys adhere to the whole, let me pay for you everything? Or hey, let's just do 50-50?
As much as I can afford.
Truly lah. Look at that.
Just
Subang.
chicken rice.
Just chicken rice. Was it a set thing or was it like expected?
I mean, for myself and I think Jazel, I think from the start, when I started dating her, it wasn't like my career was like booming and I was making.
When did you all start?
We started dating in 2014. That was the last year I was a dancer. And that was when like YouTube just sort of like started.
Boom already.
But it wasn't booming. You're not getting like contracts and jobs back to back.
Was this before you flew to the States for that really long trip? Or?
No, that was the last year I flew to US. So right after when I started dating Jazel, I went to US for 2-3 months.
Yes,
she waited for me.
Yeah.
Came back, then we continued pursuing the relationship. Then the following year, I quit dancing and pursued everything else.
Man.
So then that's where the career picked off. So she followed me from when I was earning dancer money.
We need to define the dancer money as a painful subject.
It's just really bad.
Yeah, the day John was telling us that he hired some dancers for Riley, and then Dennis heard the Singapore rate, and we were like,
I will send a whole crew down dance for you.
Those guys also has been dancing for 10 years.
But
15 years.
But at the same time, it is Singapore and the way it
different
works in Singapore and different country works differently. Like you could look in Korea and you think dancers in Korea earn a lot. No, they don't.
There's so many of them as well, right?
Yeah.
John, was it I may pay you for everything or let's...
I think my case was different though because I was living in Singapore then and Amanda was living in KL then. So I think from what I remember, the general rule of thumb was every time she was in Singapore, I would pay. And then when I go to Malaysia, she would pay. Yeah, so she would buy me meals, she would drive me around, send me to the airport.
Wow.
It's like host right? Come to my country.
She was trying to chase me.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Real or not, Amanda?
Amanda, you're watching this filming. What did you just say? But guys, it's different because at that point when he started dating Amanda, brother was balling.
No.
Brother was Sam Willows many years after that. Sam Willows.
Brother was 4 Audis in Singapore.
Bruh.
So with regards to this podcast, right? Sometimes when Amanda and I are traveling, so I'll ask her like, "Hey, do you download your show?" So I will download my Netflix shows or my Prime or Apple TV shows. She would download the podcast. And she'll be sitting right next to me, and I'm on the plane. So that means that I cannot go anywhere. You know?
Did you say
and
this?
She would watch it, and then she would look at me. And then I have no idea what she said. What's being said? And then I'm just like, okay, I just hope I didn't say anything too outrageous.
Don't worry, John. Our ideas got your back. Don't worry about it.
Wow, nice, perfect timing, Amanda, to watch. Yes. It's perfect timing.
Yeah. But anyway, so she would pay in Malaysia, I would pay in Singapore. But I think after we got married and the lines became more blurred, then I think it really depends, for our situation, because there are times where she does better than I do.
Right.
Then she'll cover more things. Or there are days there are months that I do better than I'll cover. But during the pregnancy and the first year of the baby, she didn't work much. So everything was pretty much like 95% would be on me. And I think it's fair.
That's true. That's true.
I guess it's different. Dating, when you are dual income with no kids, that's the
Things, yes.
That was the time. That was a pretty.
You feel the difference.
Yeah, you feel the difference.
I forgotten those times. Yeah. I don't remember.
Feels like a distant memory.
Can I just ask some honest question? The term dinks, right? Is it a Singaporean term?
Wait.
No, it's a
I think
it's a very financial term.
Yeah.
People refer
Jason
to
just said this
do it.
yesterday to me.
Dual income, no kids.
Yeah.
Dinks. I didn't know.
I think it's a trend on TikTok.
Yeah, it is.
It possibly is.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not. Your algorithm different.
Different algorithm.
Your algorithm is what?
Just calling out the ages here.
Yeah.
All right. To be fair, I asked Suyen as well, when you started dating, and when we were dating into marriage, I actually can't remember. Did we split 50-50? Did we do a lot of you pay or I pay? Or was it just me insisting I'll pay a lot and you just don't touch your purse?
I think when we started dating means we were 22, 23. I think we went on like, if you were to have the invitation, you will pay for it.
Yes.
And then if I were to say, hey, I want to bring you out, I will pay for it. And then if it's on...
Makes sense.
And then I think also, usually we're not calculative people. So even for our first date, like you would pay for the meal. And then I'm like, hey, come we go for like a drink after. And then I would pay for it. So it didn't feel like it was expected. But I think it's also very nice for the guy to offer, especially on the first date.
Yeah. It's nicer for the girl to offer, actually.
Do you feel that? Like,
this is the part that Amanda will be looking at you.
No, but it's true. No, okay. And I have to say this,
It's
right?
true.
I think dating has evolved over time, right? I think the notion of the men paying was during maybe our parents' generation where it was more single household incomes, right? But I think over time right now, a lot of households are dual income.
Yep.
And it's not uncommon to see the female earning more than the man. And if you ask me, I used to think that maybe when I was younger, I used to think maybe I would have a problem with it if my partner earns more than me.
Yeah.
But now, my partner earns more than me. Yeah.
go for it.
Go for it. I think there's
I encourage you, go. I will take care of the baby. I will change his diapers.
There's a whole line of guys now just wanting to be house husbands. Just take care of me, please. Just go take care of me. Which actually leads into one, like our main discussions for today. If you guys are sitting here, you already know we have a Telegram group. We've had really good discussions here and there, people popping in, talking about stuff. So please, Telegram group, somewhere in the link, go find us. Somebody asked that day, and it was great because this led up to how this episodes all happened. And John was in that conversation as well. They were asking the guys, and they were asking the community there, how do you divide the finances at home between the husband and the wife, between the couples? So I can just shout out some people. Sean Kaur, a very family scenario is, and every family scenario is and should be different. Ideally, the one with the most stable or consistent income should focus on the fixed expenses. Fixed expenses like, groceries, food, the roof over your head. And this is to have a sense of security as a unit, not be on high alert because of instability. On the other hand, there should also be the spouse who has unstable income stream to focus more on savings, which this would mean there's a month where the income is significantly high. They can be able to save in a significant amount. And this would only work for couples who have full transparency, financial statuses, and commit trust to each other. Wow, Sean just loaded a whole statement full of all kinds of things. But he set the stage because a lot of people were like, okay, different couples, different financial status, different arrangements. How has it progressed since the day you all tied the knot? That conversation about, okay, who's doing what? Have you ever had that, or it just like flowed naturally into what you guys do now?
I go first.
Yeah, we all looking at you.
I think first off, I just want to start that I'm happy that Amanda is not a spreadsheet kind of person. There are these spreadsheet girls, right?
Are you
spreadsheet
serious?
guys, like everything is on a spreadsheet. Like, your bank charged you extra 13 cents, then they put it in the spreadsheet. I personally can't live like that.
I shout out to my brother. He's that kind of person.
Yeah, and power to
Shout
you.
out to one of my
Yeah.
closest friend. He also that kind of person.
They are. They
Yeah.
are.
but
They are.
The
They-
truth is,
oh.
power to you. Like I wish I could be a
yes.
spreadsheet
Okay,
person.
okay,
I'm just
okay.
not. But I'm just
We are terrible people.
correct. Yes.
Yeah, we are terrible. We are not in spreadsheet. Like, do you write down how much you spend every day?
No.
Huh? Horrible. Same.
But you don't need to with the May app because it tracks your spendings for you. Okay, anyway. Hey,
That one another time.
Which I was
Okay.
about to segue to that. But
okay.
I think in general, my household, we are not really spreadsheet people. So I try to keep my spending within a certain source. So or anything that is variable, goes into a single source that you get a statement at the end of the month.
Right.
So that helps you stay in check.
Yes.
You know whether
yes.
you spend 1,000 plus or 2,000 plus, 3,000 plus. For me, it's all about the range. It's never about the specific dollar or the specific cent.
True.
And then that plus your fixed expenses, that should be your monthly household expenses. So long as that is not more than a certain percentage of your household income, then it should be good. So that's the way that I look at finances.
Right. I know because I was asked Dennis about it before. But Dennis, was it something that you naturally just divided, or you just took on as a responsibility when you got married to Jazel?
I mean, like different couple, different.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And at that point, also different time, right? Because when we moved out together to our first place together, immediately COVID.
Oh yeah.
And before moving there, that was 2019, end of the year.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when we moved out, I already knew, because it was just the kind of person that I am. I don't like to spend money that I don't have. So knowing that I need to rent this place for 2,000 plus, about 2,004, I calculated 12 months and I was like, that would be about 20 over 1,000. Do I have the money right now to pay everything I have? Then only I decided, okay, I'm going to go and rent.
Right.
Because I already have the money in place for that thing. So I'm that kind of person that calculate things beforehand. I don't know. Because
part the money first.
yes, because since when I was young, if I don't have the money, I don't buy. I don't use. I don't spend. That's how I function since young.
Yeah.
Do you all like have conversations around money with your spouse?
Okay, in terms of like who pay what,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like for the longest time, because I'm the one who's mostly working and
You're the sole
everything.
breadwinner.
Yes, and since we got married and baby came along
Yep.
and everything like that, and Jazel was out, she couldn't work and stuff like that. So of course, the big bulk of payment, like the monthly expenses and all that kind of stuff, usually I'll pay, and she'll pay for the other utilities, like Netflix and HBO and all that kind of stuff lah.
The things around the money spending lah. Right. I think for me personally also, it was a very recent thing where I just took it for granted because we both were kind of working, and then she transitioned into almost full-time stay-at-home mom. I think I just took it for granted also that, okay lah, I take care of the house, I'll do the down payment for the house, I'll take care of the rent, everything. And I committed a certain amount, and then it's okay. Then everything seems to be fine, and so on and so forth. But I think we only started to really intentionally do it when I started, I think one day after she moved her parents to KL, and I asked her like, hey, you got savings or not? She's like, my savings not really a lot. Then I didn't know because I never asked before, like, how are you doing personally finance? Because we had a system even when we got married before kids, we have your own money, I have my own money, and we have a joint savings account. So we are committed to the joint savings account every month, some. But our own money is our own money lah. Then you can spend with it, and there's more transparency about that. But one thing I've never asked her was, did you have enough space to have savings? Because she was committed to her parents, she's committed to her family, and she was like, no, I actually don't have enough savings. So that was the time that I think I decided to take the division a bit more heavier to my side, where, like, you know what Sean said, the fixed expenditure every month, I think I should take, because my fixed income is stronger than her fixed income, for example. But I think that's actually a quite good line to work along. Like, who does more of the fixed expenditures versus the miscellaneous expenditures, and who does the savings and investments for you guys? Like, do you go into savings and investments and this kind of division, or is it really just house rental and house money fixed, we spend from there, and then who so and so takes care of groceries or electric bills or I mean, what are the other miscellaneous stuff? Netflix and stuff like that. Was it always a thing? I mean, since you mentioned it already, for John, since you're moving in between KL and Singapore, is it something that you have to consistently check with each other, or how is that channel of communication to say like, hey, this month I can't do it, next month, because you talked about, some months you're doing better, some months she's doing better.
Wow, it's a loaded question. Wow. I mean, it really depends.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not spreadsheet people.
Yeah, exactly.
Amanda's definitely not a spreadsheet person.
Yeah.
So we kind of take it step by step in that sense. So long as we know that we, I guess, have enough, and I think also with the baby in his first year, it was hard to predict his expenses as well.
Oh, yeah.
So now a year in, we kind of manage it a little bit better. I think we went a little bit too ham at the start before the baby was born. So, we need to buy this, we need to buy that. And then turns out actually we really didn't use a lot of the things that we bought. And then now we're at that stage where, my in-laws are sending me like, hey, you should get this tricycle for Zia. I look at it, it's like 1,004. Nah. So I think we've kind of evolved over time, and even for myself as well, I think my spending habits have changed a lot, because I had to transition from being a DINK to being a dad, so I think that transition was not easy, but at the same time, actually, I kind of feel good about it too. I think it's also no longer thinking about what's going to happen next quarter. I'm actually thinking what's happening next year, what's going to happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because your kid's going to grow up. Every year it's going to be different. You got to think about school, you got to think about this and that and the other, and I think it gets harder as they grow up, because I'm just thinking like, oh man, if now with a baby, I don't have to spend that much money. He can eat off my plate, he can,
fly for free.
It's a nice, fly for free and all of that. But when the dude is like 15, that's going to be a whole different challenge. So like, I think now my mindset and my mentality goes beyond just household expenditure. It goes into household financial planning.
Yeah. I think that's a very true also. I think a lot of couples, we don't talk about finances unless there is a huge financial thing happening ahead of us, like planning a kid, right, hospital bill, how much it is, then it creates this catalyst for like, okay, we need to talk about it. Or like someone's business or COVID, right, we're not working, it's like, okay, I think we need to talk about this, we need to cut down on our expenses, something to encourage talking. Because I think when we were young, 23, like we wouldn't talk about finances per se. We were like earning like 2.5, right? There's nothing. But I think a few things I did notice was like, did he have any debt? Even when we were young, did he any debt? How did he spend money when he had money? And I think through planning the wedding,
oh boy,
I think when we got engaged, then we started a joint savings account. Because other than that, we were just using off our personal expenses, right? Then we had a joint savings account that was the goal to save for our wedding. Right? So we will put money inside, and then after we got married, then that money became mainly for rent and utilities. And then we won't calculate it, so like I would just buy groceries, or he go out, then he would just pay for whatever expenses we had. Then I think we kind of just like cruised along the way. The next few years, then we had like a house, a car, and then we had bought a house. So all these things, I think we just cruised along, and like this came out from his credit card, this came from my credit card, and I think that's how a lot. I think for you guys also, right? Like you split your expenses. You maybe pay for mortgage, and then you pay for groceries or subscription.
The more you talk about it, the more I realize that I think your financial planning when we just met was way better than mine. I think you had it so mapped out. I just showed up like, yes, you're right. We should really do this.
I think maybe that's why we...
You're right. And then we got married. I'm like, yes, this is working. Let's keep continuing.
Because when we were planning this podcast, it got me thinking, right? I was like, how did I assume this responsibility of managing our household finances?
I akin it to this picture. I buy the car, she drives the car, she steers the car, I provide the petrol. That's our household. Basically, I build the castle, but she runs the castle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So our role is you maximize income, I optimize the income.
I say I don't have many talents in life, but I can find some money for you. That's what I can do. But I think maybe something to talk about here before we go to the next one, right? Is when, like exactly what you said, usually we only talk about money between couples or in the household when there's something coming up. What do you think holds you back from talking to your couple about money, or do you hold back if there's a problem in finance? What is the biggest hurdle to, like, you know, if I didn't ask about, hey, your savings, what as a lady or as a woman, as a wife and as a husband, what's the biggest hurdle to talk about a financial problem or to confront like financial, like the division of the finance? Yeah.
I think it's very different for every couple.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're assuming that everyone starts on the same baseline. You know, I think the reality of the matter is not everyone starts on the same baseline. You know, and especially between the couple itself, you know, I think you might start at different points. So I think that makes the conversation even harder. You know, because when you're dating, first date, second date, third date, 15th date, you wouldn't ask, like, what's your money situation?
Yeah.
How much do you earn?
Okay, but to be fair, I think the culture in Singapore, it is quite straightforward like that. You know?
You actually
I
ask.
actually got one.
Yeah.
Are you actually true?
Yeah, you know,
what is
like-
your job?
Yeah.
What you do?
Maybe
Yeah.
you date in your 20s lah, but
in your
not when-
20s, yeah. I mean, when you first start dating, because it's like, don't waste my time. I don't want to go on 10 dates to find out that, you know, you are burdened with debt and you got like old parents to take care with. Like, this is not what I want, you know. So
Wow.
I think also because of the way that information is being passed on these days, you know, I think that's what makes dating harder, you know. So let's say you get over that hurdle and now it's about talking about, I guess, finances within the couple, within the family. You know, it's also not linear in that sense. You know, it's like, it's open world RPG. You know, you can really go any direction.
Side quest.
Yeah, so you could be doing well and then suddenly something hits, COVID, or you know, the economy changes, or you know, your business is no longer relevant, and then having all that expenses, you know, and not having the same income is also an issue.
Yeah.
So I think what Suyen said earlier, I mean, I think it rings true. You know, I think both couples have to figure out a way to maximize income and optimize income. You know, so it's not about taking on heavy expenses, or if you take on heavy expenses, you know, those expenses have to in some way help you maximize your income. You know, whether it's in a form of convenience, you know, by freeing up more time, you know, and you know, I think it's just one of those things that this is a very tough conversation, guys.
It is.
This is a very,
I mean,
very
okay,
tough
like,
conversation.
I'm definitely like him, not a book person. You know, I don't write down everything. So the way I see it, as just myself, this is not me going to Jazel or going to your spouse or anything like that. It's just when I was dating her, she's another person. Now that she's married to me, she's my family. She's my person.
Our own person.
And then now I have my daughter staying in my house. It's
Our own person.
Our own person. So of course I'm gonna, you know, work as hard as I can, do as much as I can to take care and protect this two person, because this two person is basically my world.
Yeah.
So to be honest, you know, I think at the end of the day, you don't really calculate that much. You don't really think that much. If you have to pay, you just figure out on how to pay it.
Yeah.
Right? If you are the sole breadwinner, you are the only person who's making the money. Of course, the wife will be at home trying to figure out how to
Make it
help
happen,
you
right?
and how to support you in any way possible. So that's pretty much how we worked through the past few years since COVID, because COVID really hit me the hardest.
Bro.
Because before that, I was saving money. You know, I was earning money. I was saving money. I was all going good and fine. And COVID came, and then
Stressful.
the May app came.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying it because it was the May app, and it was my friend when I opened the app for the for first time. And I was like, oh, do you know that there's the expenses section? Dude, I am not lying to you. Like
Scare
for the
you?
longest time, I did not know how much I spend on a monthly basis.
Until you see the number.
I was like, yeah, it should be this amount. It should be that amount. Bro, the first time I opened the app, it was when Jade was was pregnant with Jade already.
Oh.
Then I only like, oh, there's now everyone doing online payment, is it? Okay, I'll download this app, another new app. What is this? Open the app, the expenses came up, bro. I was shocked. It was like, I was thinking my expenses were like this much.
It's like,
it was like 5 to 6 times more, and I'm like, I don't even. where did I get this money to spend? I have this money in my account.
You look at who you think you are, bro.
Yeah. Oh
Who
my
stole my
god.
card?
Yo, I'm like, who's spending my money? Then you go to your expenses. You're like, oh, I spend this. I spend this. Oh my goodness! Like I'm telling you, it took me easily 1 year plus to try the best to balance out my whole entire expenses. Because every month I'll be checking my expenses, going through the whole entire list every single day. At that time, because my career wasn't going as good as it should be. So the money coming in was lesser than expenses going out.
Yeah.
It was like expenses here, but earnings here. And you're like, oh my God, it's eating so much into my savings. So with that app, it really helped me in the sense of like, okay, figuring out where I'm at, you know, and very funny that he said it. I'm the kind of guy that always think 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, how much I need to save. If like Dennis in back then, I'm already saving for Jade's university right now, something like that. But after COVID, I don't have that luxury of like planning, oh, I need to save 200,000. I need to figure out how to save this 20,000 to pay for the things that I need to pay for now first. I cannot even figure out for the next 5 years. But that is what I'm currently working towards, to be able to like, okay, I want to plan for this. I want to start saving for this and doing this for that. So yeah, it's all a work in progress.
Thank you, Dennis, for setting me up for one of the best segues ever. I know this is a Maybank episode, but I was just going to say that I think because we're not spreadsheet people, right? The first time you see the number, the first time you see the consequence of your actions. I don't know, did you guys shock? Because like for me, until the May app, right, there was no real way, like, come on guys, who download the statement every month and like, I total up this.
Definitely not me.
Who?
I do that though.
You are. Wow!
So on the first Sunday of the month, you will sit there,
click.
Make sure.
But yeah.
No, I would look through everything on my credit card bill. And honestly, it has helped me save a lot of money because I think my credit card got hacked like 6-7 times, especially because I travel quite a bit. So it's always like when I see a
expenditure,
and sometimes it's not big transactions. It's like $27, $36, but then it happened like 4 times, and then it looked like something that so the one that I always get hacked is PlayStation. Right. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, okay? So it's always PlayStation $27.99. Then I'm like thinking, I was like, but I don't buy $27.99 games.
You know this.
No one spent.
So I thought, okay, maybe DLC. Then I think, I didn't download any DLC this month or last month. Then I'll look through. Then it's always like
a card.
Then I just have to, but the good thing is you get your money back. But you see, if I didn't look through my statement, I would have never known.
All right. So just a quick shout out. I think what Dennis was talking about is when you use the May app, it has the expense stability. And to me, I think to actually start to fix the problem, you need to know the problem first.
Oh yes, you stare at the problem. You look at the pie chart.
It's all the small things.
It's all the small things. It really adds up. Because that's how I think when she started looking through her statements, she kena for one time. I think her laptop had some like bug in it, right? Or a monitor.
I definitely got hacked.
All her credit cards got fished. It's like her credit card, she changed immediately. The new one also kena same charges already.
So now I don't save my credit card details. I just manually type in every single time.
So the May account is one of the ways you can manage and keep track of your spending. That in itself can be a way to discipline or categorize your spending. Because it shows you like, I think it can show you up to like miscellaneous into food.
It shows you everything.
Everything,
if
right?
you can actually key into details. I mean, I'm not that detailed of a person, but it actually helps to segregate and put everything in different categories. But usually the miscellaneous one for mine is always the highest.
Because it's always the unexpected, bro.
It's all the wrong decisions in life. All that car fixes. Oh my God.
Bro, by now the May app should be able to call you out and just put car right there. But one thing you can do, okay, so this was actually the next question I want to do. We talk about credit cards and talk about spending, right? Because you can also use the May app. If you guys use the May app, you can portion, if your salary comes in, you can portion it to different parts where you want to spend this pocket, you want to spend that part of it, you want to spend this portion of it. And credit cards versus debit cards is a different way of spending money. So this is like, I would also say, Important to shout out, May Wallet is Sharia compliant for our Muslim friends. So hey, shout out, Sharia compliant. We were talking about spending just now. And since guys, we are not detailed spreadsheet guys. But I think guys, I don't know about you, there's only two ways of spending. One is the credit card way of spending, which is spend first and then you check once in a while, haven't reached the limit, then it's okay. The range spending. Or are you the kind where the money come in, you put $8,000 away, you put $5,000 away, you only put $1,000 for yourself and I'm only going to spend this much every month. Are you the let me spend in a range and hopefully don't pauta, or I'm not going to deal with the range, I'm just going to give myself a fixed amount every month and spend? Which one do you lean more towards to? For yourself lah, for your own spendings,
Well, I think for me, I also went through the realization, especially during COVID, right? Everything is Shopee, online deliver. You don't feel it, right? Then I think after I realized how much all those small things add up, now my thing is, if I can pay for this with my account this month, I will buy it. If I have to think of like paying it with next month's income or whatever, I don't pay for it. I don't buy for it.
Yeah, that's basically how I function. If I don't have the money right now to pay for it, even though if it's an installment of like 100 for the next 12 months, then that's 1,002 right?
Because you shared, okay, this is something I admire Dennis, his financial flow. You shared with me how you spend your money as the founder of a gym or your own business, right? You take a portion like for 2024, right now you're earning money 2024, and you will take a portion and I'm only going to give myself this much to spend 2025. So you have a very like extreme annual budget for yourself, and then you chop it down, right? When you shared with me once, that's how you do it, right?
I mean, because of the career that I am in a sense, because back then in 2012 when we started in this social media world, no one actually know where's your journey and how much you're going to be earning. It's not fixed income. It's very up and down. One month I could earn nothing at all. So at that point, I realized like, okay, you know what? Whatever money that I earn right now, I cannot spend it right now.
Nice.
Because I have next few months to come up and then I don't have money in the house. So I'm always using money from last year.
Yeah.
Money that I earn this year is for my next year.
I think, honestly, bro, people don't understand how strong that is,
I mean, I'm not
That's
saying...
how companies do their budgeting.
Yeah, but he do it personally,
Because a lot of discipline,
It
actually.
started off, I mean, a lot of people are, how did you come up to this amount of savings and stuff? I said, back then when I was earning money as a dancer, like checks coming 2,000 ringgit, 3,000 ringgit for a month of salary
or
work,
3 months after.
And I was staying with my mom. So what I do is I'll just take that whole entire payment and just give to my mom. My mom will throw it into FD. And that's the last I'll see the money. To me, whatever money goes into my FD, I have never earned it. I've never seen it. I'm not touching it.
That's
Whatever is in my account, that's the money I have.
Right.
If in that account, there's no money. If it's only 1,000 ringgit,
to me, I'm broke.
X.
Yeah.
I'm broke. That's why. That's why everyone said, Dennis, you're not broke. No, I am. You see, no money.
Yeah. Because I forgot about the rest of the money.
Correct. I would just make myself forget about that. Was me 10 years ago. Then after that, started dating Jazel, and then knowing the responsibility as a boyfriend, and after that as a husband. And it's not that I'm forced. It's just as myself, Dennis Yin, this is how I want to be as a husband. I want to be able to take care of my wife and my child, and that's why I want to do the best I can.
But I honestly, because people, I feel like the normal way we approach money is that we have the savings, and then it gives you that spending power. And then, like Suyen said, I think nowadays people want to pay it installments, or like I pay next month, I'll make this money next month.
Pay later.
Yeah, like what you said just now, I won't spend the money I don't have yet. I know it's coming in, but I'm not going to spend it.
That's why the only installment I have is my house.
Actually, that's true.
I don't pay later. I don't believe. Not that I don't believe. I know it's good. But for me, then you give me opportunity to want to spend that money next month. I don't want. I want to pay now, so next month I don't spend money.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys do, but I have a habit of like, cause now some of the interest rates are getting better, right? I try my best to like for the home installments or the home or for people rent, I will try to my first earning goal is to earn the 12 months for that year. Then I put it aside. And then I'll put it there and it will develop interest. So by the end of the year, even though I finish paying it, I will have some money left over from that bank pocket, that portion. And then I will move over into other stuff. Once I hit that goal, I will go like, how much is my car going to cost me next year? Then I'll go into that. Or how much is it going to cost for 6 months? I was going to say like, yeah, John, do you have that kind of structure for yourself?
I think my structure keeps changing. I think depending on the situation, especially now with a kid, moving between countries a lot.
It's moving between countries.
Actually, it's the moving between countries. So, I mean, I have one too many bank accounts, I feel.
Oh boy.
But the thing is, every single account is a necessity for me.
That's true.
The way that I do my spending in Malaysia is also different from the way that I do it in Singapore. And then because also I work for some US companies, so I also get paid in US dollars. So it's having to manage multiple currencies in multiple accounts that I sometimes forget. Like actually, I don't even know where I have my money.
Just the best, actually, right?
You forget your money.
But it's sometimes bad also because, for example, I have a lot of expenses in Malaysia, and I don't necessarily earn a lot in ringgit. So, but I have to pay off in ringgit. So I lose on the forex. So I lose on conversion sometimes, which makes it variable in that sense, which I don't like. So I mean, it's quite. I mean, my situation's a little bit more complex in that sense, but just try to make it work.
Maybank, you got financial strategists to come over. You need a pro one for John. I mean, John is on hard mode right now. You got baby, family, and you got between KL and Singapore. Wow, I got two currencies to
like. Amanda's not in Malaysia right now, right?
No, so Amanda...
Even right now, right?
Yeah,
Even
so
right
Amanda,
now.
so, I mean, she
Back and
still
forth.
primarily works in Singapore. She works here in KL as well, same as me. So I think it makes it a bit difficult. Not so much on the work, on the money front. It's more the scheduling. I think the scheduling is the one that really makes it very tough.
Right. Yeah. I think the last one to talk about credit cards. We've talked about it in other episodes about spendings changing when you have a kid. And how you spend, right? I think we've all agreed that the kid now takes the priority. I remember sharing to Suyen before, like, I mean, even Dennis knows because we go back quite a while on YouTube. I don't spend money from YouTube one. Like
you until today still don't spend money though.
I try my best.
I'm
He's
like,
really a
okay.
saver.
Like, please spend money. You only live once.
Yeah,
YOLO.
that's true. I gotta YOLO a bit more.
I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum.
I only live once.
I only live once.
Have you heard like they say like in a couple there's always one is a saver and one's a spender?
Not my situation.
This situation is both spender. This situation both saver.
Not really.
No. She can spend. She can spend.
We can
but-
spend.
we can spend.
Both also.
Yeah. I gave her the green light. So I think I remember mentioning when we came for budgeting for kids, and I feel that I told Suyen, I never felt the purpose in spending money until I bought my first tin of milk for my child. I don't know. Did you guys feel that purpose of money when I can give my kid good diapers that won't leak at night, or because I have so many allergies, right? I can actually afford organic milk. Last time need to drink all the random.
You got no choice.
I got no choice. Got to drink this one. Someday I got to drink condensed milk with water a bit, That one rough or raw. No lah, my parents didn't do that to me. But their parents kena that time, right? I felt that when it came to budgeting for the kids, my earliest mistake as a parent was I don't think, just spend first for my kid, everything the best. And then it was a slow learning that actually don't need one. Like we all live like on worser things, but we still came out quite healthy.
I think when it's like your first kid, similarly, right? You feel like you need to get everything the best stroller, the best everything. And I think through our parenthood journey also, we come to realize like actually what's more feasible.
Yeah.
Like, will your kid really think of like, I got the best stroller? Or would they see like, my parents are actually stressed about money? Or like, what would they get from us? So like, that really put into perspective a lot about our finances and how we talk about finances or how we approach it around our kids also.
Yeah.
So we're like, it's better to just have like keep our day-to-day at a very like low level, manage their expectations, and then we can always splurge on experiences.
Yeah.
So I think everybody has like money dial, right? Like certain things makes you happy and certain things you don't really care. Like for me, I love shopping, but I am fine if we just eat chaphan. And then like he loves collectibles, but he's really fine just anything else, right?
Anything else.
So I think it's like at one hand, like you have to live in the present. You worked hard, you need to spend also, but also you need it to be stress-free with a more realistic budget. Because then I feel like as a wife, like I feel my role also is to make sure the family is fine. Like he doesn't work too hard. And sometimes I ask him like, you work so hard, the money you earn, like we really have enough. All we need to do is how much do we actually need? And I think it's only early this year that I became very strategic or like very intentional about how much do we actually spend. So we used to pay separately also our bills and everything. So I said, okay, now let's just restructure everything. All goes through either auto debit from our joint savings or one specific credit card. So then
I'm so thankful, man. I don't know what happened. She started watching CEO of a Diary of a CEO, all this kind of thing.
Wow.
And then one day she's like, dear, we really got to do our money.
So
this
I was
way.
never a financial person. He was the one that would like save, invest. And I always just listen when he talks about it or when he talks to other people about it. And then I don't know, I think maybe 1 year postpartum, my brain like started working a bit more. I think with my parents also coming up, it really made me realize like, okay, what do we have for retirement? How about the kids' education? Like all those things started like playing in my head. And then that just made me feel like if I don't know anything about it, how am I going to help?
Right.
And then
but I cannot push you there. So the tricky part is I don't know about husbands, man. You cannot force the money thing on your wife. It's I think
you can try.
You can try.
Yeah, so you can call Amanda and JJ also, please.
I won't like, guys. I don't want like when it happened. I think so.
We should try.
We haven't yet.
Because the shift was
Tomorrow night.
Hey, Maybank,
Imagine after 2 kids, I still don't have, bro.
9 months plus 1 year of postpartum.
So
Plus minus 2 years, 2 years.
2026, you guys should be
will
good.
get there.
We will get there.
So our dynamic was like he would ask like, oh, how much do we need? Right? So I said, oh, rental this, I think this amount. Then we will like put the money inside and then I just manage like, okay, I pay off the bills,
She said my
everything on
monthly
time.
KPI.
Then after that, I don't know, I think it's like through talking, it's also a personal journey to be more financial literate. So I started like watching videos and
Actually,
podcasts.
But I think
Then-
humans innately, we always have that hunter-gatherer mentality.
Yes,
right?
correct. I was going to say that, yeah.
As your village gets bigger, then your gatherer basically have to gather better.
Yeah.
Right?
You
Then
need
the
to
hunter
hunt more.
gonna hunt more.
You really go hunt more.
So I told him maybe
Yeah.
it's because like now we're like 35, right? And then we know that we're done with kids. So I feel like my whole like
You all don't want to try for a boy?
physically-
I'm not going to say anything.
Well, just come and visit Zayn. So I think like maybe at this point, like I told him we're 35, we finished all our huge milestone. Like things, big purchases that you will spend is wedding, house, car, right?
Baby pregnancies.
Yeah, baby pregnancy. So I felt like we went through all those
Yeah,
ups
you're
and
done all
downs.
that.
And then
But
now
in Malaysia,
I feel,
your car forever.
Yes.
Singapore, your car every 10 years gonna
Oh
be.
man, yes, that's true. So we're like, at this point, maybe that's where I felt like I was more in a place like, okay, it's quite stable. Now let's plan for the next part of life. Really. So
University.
maybe
Yeah.
that was like a catalyst for me
Maybe-
to think of more things. So
Maybe,
then,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
so then I think that's when I started like optimizing.
We really just try to motivate each other. Like, hey, let's figure out how to make the money work for yourself. Like, let's do
In any way, shape, or form.
any
we need to
way.
figure out how to make this 1 ringgit
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
ringgit.
There was like WhatsApp groups. We went on that. We had that. What's that app? That every day we can have like those
Yeah.
talks. Actually, I can't even remember the app. now.
you
Do you
know
remember this
what
app?
It's Clubhouse.
We had all this kind of motivational.
Clubhouse is full of nonsense.
I mean, eventually became full of nonsense within like the first 2 months.
Yeah.
But when that whole entire time was happening,
The
and all,
financial
I
thing,
feel
yeah.
that whole period really changed a lot of people in
Yeah,
the way
it
how we
did.
function and all
It
that
did.
kind of stuff.
It did. Everything need to, and it was very salient because she wasn't really interested in it because I think her focus was really making sure that our kids in COVID were well protected and well nurtured, right? But once in a while, I'll just share like, hey dear, I bought this random coin. What is it good? But I also remember the day where the COVID boom happened and the finance world changed, and it was just a repeated exposure to her because I always knew that this money thing is something that I do on myself, but I'll never be able to share her properly.
You feel like I wasn't interested? Or
Yeah.
like, oh,
It was
okay.
more of like, cause you got your hands full. But that was the thing I maybe wanted to end with. Like for guys, right? As a wife to guys, and I know guys, even for me personally, to talk about my struggles with money with my wife or with you, like to like tell you I might not be doing so well. Maybe as a wife, like how do I put this? What would you want like husbands to know when it comes to being able to share financial problems? Like,
I think it takes it's like a muscle also to grow, because I think if you identify as a provider, sharing money troubles, it's actually very vulnerable.
yeah.
I would think so, right?
Yeah.
Like not be able to provide, or like, will they see me differently, right? Because if I'm away from home so much, but yet I cannot earn enough money, and also what if I don't want to work? Do I have that option? So I think that lays quite heavily on a partner if it's a husband. I would think that it'd be good to start on like smaller things. By really sharing a bit more transparent, how's your day, how's your income, because like through our jobs also, our income shifts.
Yep.
I think to be able to talk like that, I remember we were also quite like shy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't know how she will feel, like, oh, my savings is not as much as yours, like will you feel like why you spend so much money on a bag instead? So I think that judgment is what really stops each other from like being more transparent about.
Yeah.
But I think someone needs to initiate it. And I think for you were the one who like openly is like, oh, I made this, or like, oh, I lost this. I think talking that, then for me it's just listening, maybe like over a long period of time. Then suddenly one day it just clicked in my head. And then it's like, hey, I also want to, right? And I'm motivated to like try and do it.
I just have a question, like, right? Guys.
Yeah.
I feel like between the husband and the wife, right? The husband would share more about how much they earn and how much they're spending and how much they're losing.
Yeah.
Compared to the wife.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Is it? Is it?
Yes.
Or is it just me?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. It is.
And I just my feeling, the reason they're afraid to share is that we find out how much they're spending on shopping.
Okay, so
Were you
your
ever
money
scared?
is
No, it's her money.
Okay, so it's
her
your
money.
money is our money, her money is her money, is it?
Yeah.
Were you ever scared to tell me how much you're using for like clothes?
I think I wasn't really, because I like it's my own money, ma. But I always felt that if I wasn't earning my own income to spend, if let's say he were to give me money, right, in a joint savings, I would feel very guilty spending the money on non-essentials. So I had this a lot of conversation with
she's
him
told me
lately,
about this before. Yeah.
because I stay home with the kids, but I have the opportunity to earn to work and to get a side income for myself, or if I were to spend on my parents, it's my money. But if it's a stay-at-home mom who have no opportunity for an income, right,
You feel quite
they
guilty
would
too.
feel very guilty to spend on non-essential, because you realize that your husband works so hard. Then this money is for essentials. Then like, it's okay, I don't need to do my hair. I don't need to buy clothes and stuff. So then I asked him, like, do you feel weird if, because I feel if it's your mom, they should get like a guilt-free spending allowance.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
I don't have kids.
That's okay. Which brings me to my next question also. Do all guys give your wives your stay-at-home wife or your
The
housewife
allowance, yes.
allowances because they're at home, they don't have work,
And they've let go of the job for you.
They let go of the job to take care of the family.
Yeah.
Do you guys provide that to your wives?
I
Or anyone that's watching this, you guys can
think-
leave a comment.
yeah.
Let me know. Do you guys provide it? Is it a must
Yeah,
or
yeah.
no?
It's a pretty hot debate,
I
isn't it?
think this is what helped us talk about money, because I will also jokingly say every month, you want more money or not? Tell me lah, you want more money or not? What will you do if I pay you this?
Wow,
but it's a
Danny.
cheeky thing. It's a cheeky thing because my the joint account, that the habit that we have, right? It became like, I know every month I need to top it up to this number. And then it became a discipline of every month I put this number in. So she doesn't need to worry about if our kid need to go to hospital, if our kid need to go and get medicine. And because we had that conversation going on, it became easier to like, hey dear, do you need more money this month? Is something happening? Because guys, she only got 4 Saturdays in 1 month. If she don't work two Saturdays, I can kind of guess already. You know, so it's like this like that. But I think, yeah lah, the hurdle to overcome is always you want to spend this money, you go and spend lah. And I've learned that actually from my mom, because my mom is a stay-at-home mom and she spends my dad's money. And I understand now why as a kid, like I give money to my mama, so she don't need to feel guilty about spending my dad's money. And she take my money and go and like do hair and stuff like that. But that initial conversation lah, to ask your wife or to tell your wife like, wow dear, this month tak boleh, we need to eat the noodles for a while. That is the real stress of a man, I feel. And you have to do that while having your kid watch you, but make it seem like everything's okay. I feel that at least I can share that burden with her lah, with that conversation. But ask her, you need more money or not? What will you do? I give you money, what you going to give me? You
I
know?
think it was like small thing. It's like just having the conversation where like we ask like, hey, you know, it's very important that we don't know how many years we're going to live, right? So at some point when we retire, like how much savings do you like want to have?
Okay,
so like, you know, like little steps like that. Because what I did was I told him, I wrote like when we are 35, 45, 55, how old our kids will be. Then it kind of shifts my perspective, like when they're at a certain age, at what point of like financial will it be requirement from us. Then it kind of feels like when you have a goal to achieve, you wouldn't mind sacrificing the present. Yeah, so me, that was what did help lah.
Yeah, that's why we're training Haley to vlog right away, so she can get her first KOL job hopefully next year.
Jade already yesterday started vlogging again. Take mommy camera.
Bro, Zayn needs to ride a motorbike right now. I feel that's the trick, like, you know, not financial, personal advice.
I mean, talking about that, right? Jade is going to be Olympian really.
I think so.
At this level, where Jazel is like, okay, she's gonna do gymnastics, she's gonna do this shooting, and I'm like, what?
We will talk more about unnecessary Asian parent standards in the future. But yeah, guys, just as a wrap up, we have a Telegram channel for all the dads out there, for all the parents. People actually talk about some pretty serious stuff on the Telegram channel randomly at night. Shout out to Maybank, guys. Remember to check out the May app, the May card, the May account. It's a great way to organize your spendings. It's a great way to know how you're spending stuff. To remind you. Actually, the most powerful thing about the May app is that number of how much you're spending every month. If that doesn't hit you like how it's supposed to hit you, I don't know what else to tell you.
Like honestly, I'm not paid to say this, right? Although we sponsored, right?
Yeah.
But it was really the May app that I had to hold while discussing with Jazel about our financial situation, especially when baby was born.
You go through
when baby was born, I so smart decided to buy a house, right? And I so smart started my car collection. Smart. So
just sell your car collection.
No, you see, the whole goal here is to work harder so I can keep the car collection.
So that's the motivation.
That's the motivation. And
not even Jade is the car.
No, it's because Jade now knows all daddy car, mommy car, Jade car. She knows the car. She knows the car that I bought for the Jade car. So she knows her own car. Then this is daddy car. Then the green one is mommy car. She knows. So now when daddy sell car, then Jade
the motivation.
No more car.
Oh man.
I know. So I have to work hard, work hard.
Yeah. Guys, the May app, go check it out. I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much, Pang Suyen, for being part of the episode today.
Happy to be here.
Maybe we should just do an episode and just put the wives all here and then they can take the reels for us.
Yeah, 3 wives sit here.
3 wives sit here, no.
We sit behind the camera. Mouth quiet, cannot say a thing. Wow, that is a challenge. We need 2 cameras. One here and one there.
But you know what's the challenge? Your finances if you don't do it properly. So guys,
bang, bang, bang.
There's a May card and the May account. Please go check it out. Maybank, thank you so much for being part of this episode. Spend wisely, guys. If credit cards are the way for you, do that. If the May card is the way for you, do that. But most importantly, just understand what you're spending. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Please subscribe.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.